I think there's a conspiracy going on. For real. Just listen to me. Look, I don't know what it is, but why are all school teachers fucking hot now? Like, I'm just saying, if I had these teachers when I was in school, I would have paid a lot more fucking attention. That's for sure. Like, like when I was a kid, we literally had a book. It was like by Robert Munch or some shit, and it was called like The Teacher from the Black Lagoon, and that's seriously like that's what our teachers look like for the most part. No offense, I love you all. You guys taught us well, but there was a few of them that were okay looking, but nowadays it's like they're all fucking models, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I guess I'm going to every PTA meeting, that's for sure. And like even the bus drivers, like the bus drivers they got fucking. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I'm sorry, is that Ariana Grande driving your bus? I'm like, maybe I'll wait by the school bus stop for you. Maybe I'll help you out there. You know? Either way, I don't know what's going on. Clearly, there's some sort of conspiracy to hire better looking teachers and better looking bus drivers. Maybe it's so the kids pay attention. Hey, I'm not against it. I'm just saying, when my kids are old enough, I'm gonna do the responsible thing and show up for those meetings. Just because I just nothing to do with the looks. I really care about the education and what's going on at school. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Not Rich Just Bored, episode number 17. Hopefully, you guys don't hear too much banging in the background, because Kyle's fucking losing his mind over there. So if you hear like a smashing sound, don't worry. I'm safe. I'm not in the line of fire. But, you got to deal with that shit. It's one of the shitty things about having roommates, that you got to deal with their horse shit. Especially when they're rage gamers. Yeah, I hear you, son. But anyways, yeah. No, I don't know. Today, I don't know. It'll probably be a shorter one. There's not a whole lot going on in the world, but there's one thing I want to talk about, and I you know, I'm gonna say it that I'm I'm not easing up that much, but I'm starting to be more chill with the idea of NFTs. I still don't think they're a good. I don't know. I can't say with a straight face that they're a good investment, but I do like the idea that there are some that are coming out now that are actually like they have a use. And if you can use it in a game, or you can use it in some form like that, then that's great. But the problem is you get shit like this. You guys are gonna have to do a little googling on this, but there's a there's an NFT MMO called Ateron. I'm just googling it right now, and whoa, I don't know what the hell that was. I think one of my tabs just closed or something. Who knows? But anyways, there's this MMO called Ateron, and they have a YouTube page. It's on, and their webpage is on dap.com. I don't know. It's some sort of an NFT MMORPG. But I watched it. I think it came out in January. But I just this just came to my attention.
We're mech.
Oh my god. Sorry about that. It just came to my attention recently, and I think it's hilarious that if you watch the video, I tell you, watch the video on their YouTube. Ateron NFT MMORPG gameplay teaser. They had another one that was just a trailer, but it's gone. So I don't know what the hell happened to it. So I'm guessing it got reported for asset stealing, which is my biggest problem with this, is that it's literally it's an MMO. If you watch a trailer, anybody who's played World of Warcraft will know this is literally like, it's pretty clear that they just ripped assets from WoW. Like the one part of the gameplay was showing. Well, no, this wasn't the gameplay. It's the trailer they took down. It showed like a whole part of Stormwind, which is one of the Alliance capitals, and it's literally just it's like a 1-to-1 of it. They just kind of flipped the assets a little bit, textured them just a little bit different, but it's the same fucking thing. And I think it's just hilarious that they did that. It's so shameless, and I think a lot of people are doing this. There's a lot of mobile games I've noticed too that they'll have those fake ass trailers. It's like fucking stop doing that, you idiots. And nobody's falling for that shit. Like there's even those ones where it'll show like a neat little trailer and then it'll turn out to be like some bullshit. Or it'll show like there's that one I always see. It's got like the goblin on it and he's got like the little bulldozer and he's mining rocks. And then it shows, oh, this is pretty cool. You mine rocks, and then you go back and you sell your rocks, and then you upgrade your digger, and then you go back out, and then you mine more rocks, but then you run into rocks that are too hard, so you got to upgrade your guy, and then you get to go faster until you get to the harder rocks, and then you go back slow, and it's just one of those positive feedback loops. But then if you download the game, it doesn't look anything like that. It's all just fake, and most of it's all stolen assets. Like that Goblin one, I'm pretty sure those are stolen assets from like Clash Royale or Clash of Clans. One of those uh who I can't remember who makes that fucking game. But they made Everdale and Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, all those guys. But it's all stolen assets in the end. And I always see these mobile games too that are ripping World of Warcraft assets. And it's so shameless. It's just like if you want somebody, this is the problem. If you want somebody to have faith in your like NFT universe and all that shit, you can't be ripping assets. You can't be faking shit because it's just like the moment you do that, then it's like everybody's like, okay, well, it's pretty clear this was just a quick asset flip to make money. Whereas if it was a legitimate MMO and they wanted to put NFTs in there for special items or whatever, I might be more on board for that. But the problem is for me, it's just I for me when it comes to items that are NFTs, at that point it's just a pay to win cycle, which is like every other mobile game. So what's the point? Like it's just such a fucking I don't know. To me, it's just a waste. Again, I'm trying to see the good in NFTs because I know I got a couple buddies that are they're kind of in the trenches, like Sword. There, you know he's kind of entrenched in that shit. But like I cannot fully endorse them yet. It's a bridge too far. But I think there is potential, but the problem is that there's so much bullshit. There's so much asset flipping. There's so much just because that's what it is right now. It's a quick way to make a quick buck, and that's all these guys see it as. We saw it fucking earlier with what the hell was that shit? Let me Google it here. It was called Pixelmon, I think. Yeah, Pixelmon. Let me bring it up here. Talk a lot of shit, bitches got a lot to say. Like, holy fuck. Somebody took down their website. This is on stuff, business, whatever. What's this say? Waikato 20-year-olds, 103 million NFT skim, causes controversy in the gaming world. Yeah, no shit. I don't know. Here we go. Yeah, okay. It's just this is just basically an article memeing on it. But if you guys look it up, if you Google Pixelmon, it's basically these pixelated monsters, kind of like Pokemon. And I don't know who the fucking guy was. Is it this Martin? Yeah, Martin Steven Van Blurk. I guess that was the guy that started this whole thing. He's 20 years old, right? So he's a fucking idiot already. But he made these fucking things called Pixelmon. but they look like shit compared to the trailer that he was selling people. And then to make it worse, guys did a deep dive on him. And when they really looked at it, it was actually just generic assets that he threw. He bought the assets for, whatever, a few $100, which were pre-made. And then he threw it into a voxel like a voxel editor. And it just basically took the models and voxelized them. So they look like old, pixelized voxels from, old games like Shadow Warrior. They used to use voxels and in some of the items and shit like that. It's just an old. It makes basically nowadays the only thing people use it for is to make things look retro. They might have used it in Ion Fear, I'm not sure, but either way, he just dumbed down these assets that he bought, and then now he's selling them as NFTs. Well, he was. Sorry, he's done now, but he made like I think he made $103 million off it, and then he just kind of fucked off. And it's just I don't know. I it's hard to it really is hard to get into this market and have faith in it when there's so much shit going on like this. So I don't know. It again, and I hear according to Justin, I don't know much about this. I kind of want Justin to come on here and talk about it, but apparently Doctor Disrespect is doing some NFT thing with his new game. He's getting a lot of backlash off of it. So, but I don't know. Justin still thinks it's good. So I don't know. I want to talk to him more about it. Possibly get him on here and see what's going on. Because I don't know. It's weird to me that a big streamer like, holy fuck, I'm just burping and shitting here. But it's weird to me that a big streamer like Doc would endorse something as controversial as NFTs, but that makes me think that he knows something we don't, or he's, I really don't want to think that he's just trying to scam people like everybody else. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll have to look more into it and maybe talk to Sword more about it because I guess he pre-ordered one of them, and it's gonna be some sort of a system where it's like a loot crate, where you get randomly generated skins for his upcoming game, and then you have a chance to get legendary skins, and then you can resell those to other people, and then some people can apparently use your skin, but they have to pay you royalties. I don't know. Again, it's all new to me. It's all weird, and I think it could work, but I don't know. I've always been on the sidelines, not just with NFTs, but like loot boxes in general. I think anytime you add a random shit like that to a game, it's dangerous because it's gambling. And people will find themselves fucking addicted. Especially kids. I don't think it's right, and thankfully it's illegal now to like sell loot crates like that to kids in games like Fortnite because it's one thing if it's earned in game, if you earn you earn points or whatever, or fake digital currency in the game, and then you buy your boxes and you have a chance to get something cool. That's different. But if you're taking your parents' credit card and you're buying 100 boxes and just to try to get one legendary, like what happened. Remember, there was that big fucking. This was years ago now, but there's that big CS:GO scandal where they they fuck. I don't even remember what happened, but those guys were selling loot boxes or something for skins, and then turns out they were behind it the whole time. Fucking disgraceful, but I don't know. I'm glad there are laws like that to protect children because yeah, I don't think I just don't think that shit belongs in our games. And there's gonna be a lot of people that are like, yeah, but well, just watch your kids, get your kids off there. It's like, well, fuck. How could you say that to a kid though? The kid's gonna go up to you as a parent, and it's gonna be like, I want that skin, or I want that. Why? 'Cause I want to be cool in the game. And yeah, you could say no to your kid, but it's a part of the game. Like, it's a part of the game. Everybody's gonna, everybody's gonna want that shit that plays that game. It's the same logic as people saying, technology like cell phones and tablets are bad for kids, which I think is true. But then, how can you not get your kids any of that stuff? They'll be a fucking luddite. All their classmates will be worlds ahead of them, and they'll be the fucking odd kid out. So, that's one of those things that people don't. I feel like people don't think about that stuff, and I'm guilty of that too, because I did the same thing. I said, you know what, I don't want to give my kids tablets. I don't. I really, it's kind of frying their brains, and it's dangerous to play Roblox online because you never know what creeps on there. But the reality of it is, you just got to kind of monitor their playtime, and make sure they're being responsible. Put the proper parental protection on there, but just kind of monitor it. You don't need to. But to say they can't play any games, they can't do anything on there. Well, then you're just raising a fucking luddite that's not gonna fucking learn anything, and they're gonna be way behind their classmates, who are rocking the tablets and the laptops and all that shit. So it's just the problem. The problem is, like, we can't keep that boomer ideology, like that boomer mindset, with modern parenting. The shit that worked on us as kids from our parents, it just doesn't apply today. It just doesn't. We have integrated with technology so much that that's just kind of the world we live in. And that's not to say that there's not pitfalls, because again, I think there is. And I've said it before, where I think there's a high correlation between, like, kids' toys these days and the integration with technology. Because ask any parent right now for their, whatever it is, 4-year old to, I'm going to cut it off at 8-year old, because they really stop caring about all that shit around 8 or 9 usually. But you ask any, young child from age 3 to 8, we'll say 3 to 8, that's a good ceiling. What's the favorite toys? What do they like? Besides their tablet, right? Besides their tablet or their cell phone or whatever, usually they don't have a cell phone. They usually just have an old phone that's working like a tablet, just working on Wi-Fi, no actual cell service. But anyways, I'm rambling. What their favorite toy is? It's those fucking poppets. It's fidget toys, all of them. It's always fucking those stupid things. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sure you guys heard that. There was a guy that just ran his fucking hands through a glass table in the other room. Anyways, yeah, it's all those fucking poppets. My son calls them hoppets. So if I call them hoppets, that's why. But yeah, it's these fucking poppets, the little things that, it's basically infinite bubble wrap or whatever. You pop the bubbles out and then you press them back in, and it's very tactile. It's very sensory, I guess you could say. But that's what the popular toys are now with kids. Besides their tablet. The tablet's number one. The technology. That's number one. But number two, they're quote unquote toys. It's all sensory things. It's all gooey shit. It's all slime. It's all poppets and fidget toys, fidget spinners, stuff like that, right? It's all sensory, weird fidget stuff. And I think there's a correlation between that and the amount of technology they're consuming, because they're ready for that, instant action, instant TikTok. TikTok is fucking that is the king of fucking ruining kids' attention span. And I know that because it does it to me too. It does it, you know. There's times where I'll just be sitting there and, I don't have TikTok personally, but Facebook Reels and Instagram shorts or whatever the fuck they're called. It's all the same shit, right? It's short form, quick videos. Holy fuck! Can I stop burping for a minute? That'd be sweet. But it's all short. It's all short, quick, loud music. It's all very instant satisfaction, right? And that's their main consumption of social media is that TikTok. So it's just like scroll, 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 scroll. And it's the same with their physical toys, just like tactile. I need something that's sensory, that's, instant gratification, stuff like that. Nothing too complex. Like, the kids are a little young. They're a little young for board games yet. Like serious board games. You can play like Spider. I don't know, there's the one with the spider or whatever, or we played Mr. Bucket a couple times. That's a classic game from my era. But I could sit down and play like Fireball Island or Monopoly or something like that with them. But I'm kind of interested to see what's going to happen in the future. Are they going to be able to play? Are they going to be able to sit down and play a game of Monopoly? Is that going to be a thing? Because it's kind of a tradition for us. We always do it around, especially the holidays. Until my sister fucking rage quits and throws the board across the table. after my dad's given her all of his properties and money. Sorry, Ashley. It's true. Shout out to my sister. But seriously though, I'm really curious as to are these modern kids going to be able to sit down and play something like a board game? So I hope so, because I really I love board games, and I really I really want to show them. I want to not only like play like the classics with them, but also show them some of the cool ones from my childhood, like Fireball Island, like Nightmare and Beyond, and all that shit. And why did I just call it Nightmare and Beyond? Fuck. I know why I called it Nightmare and Beyond. It's because that's what Board James. That's what his episode of when he plays Nightmare on Board James Rolfe. He called it this episode title is called Nightmare and Beyond, but the board game's actually called Nightmare. And that was one board game that I never owned as a kid, but I did play it as a kid because I remember it. Like I remember when James did that episode. That was like fuck. That was like 6 years ago now. It's crazy how time flies. But yeah, I remember when he did that episode, and like all the nostalgia in my head just came back. I'm like, oh my god, I remember this. Because it was the game with the fucking. It was one of those VHS board games where you put the VHS in, and then like as you're playing, randomly, the thunder would strike or something, and then the fucking creepy guy would come up on the screen and be like, "Whoever rolled last, go to the black hole." And then you were, banished to the black hole until the VHS stopped again. And then he'd ask you all kinds of questions, and then I remember like as the VHS would go on, he'd get creepier and creepier. And I just remember being very fucking uncomfortable. And then when I was an adult, I learned that there were actually different versions of that game, like with different VHS tapes, and they're all on YouTube. If you guys ever, that's the nice thing too, is that if I do play that today, I can actually play it, and instead of dusting off the VHS player, I can actually just play the people have uploaded on YouTube all the old Nightmare VHSs. So and that's actually how I found out about the other board game, the other versions of it, because there was like what was there, a scorpion lady or a spider lady? I can't remember. There's a couple other ones though. So but the one I remember playing as a kid was the one with the original one, just called Nightmare, and it had the creepy old guy that turned into a skeleton slowly. And yeah, that's the one I got. I got it at like this guy was selling it at a yard sale, and the package is a little beat up, like it's taped at the edges a little bit. But other than that, it's complete in the box. Like everything's there. The VHS is there. The sleeve for the VHS is there, and then the felt sleeve that goes over the sleeve of the VHS is there. Like he had everything, dude. It's crazy. And I got it for like I think it was $20, and I'm like, wow, this is great. Because I think people are selling them on Amazon for like, I don't know, I think it was like a complete in box and stuff. It was over 100 at least. But that was, that was a few years ago now. But I don't know, I was just pumped to get that, to get that, because I was like, it's always great when you go to a garage sale and you find something from your childhood and you're like, oh my god, this is so awesome. I'm just gonna look it up right now. What's it? Nightmare game commercial. Okay. Oh, it's on a what? Holy shit. Okay, this. Oh, this is brand new. Okay. Yeah, so this is sealed. Like obviously there's no plastic on the board game itself. Like you can open the box of the board cuz there was no cellophane or anything on it. But when you open the board up, everything is in the plastic still on the inside. And wait a minute. Hmm. This is weird. Okay. I'm just going to tell you guys. This is on Amazon. It's Nightmare the video board game. And it's $660. It's obviously it's a private seller cuz it wouldn't be new. Like it wouldn't be a new one. And it wouldn't be a re-release cuz there's no way a re-release would be that much. But what the hell is it? It says it was made by NECA. Did NECA make Nightmare? Hold on. Now I gotta look this up. What? Okay, it's not saying anything. But if anybody doesn't know, NECA is a very famous. They're a very famous brand for making toys, like action figures. Like they make all the really high quality, high detail figurines. Like I have a Kratos figure that they made. It was Kratos and Atreus. That's his name, I think. The boy from the new God of War, and yeah, like their shit is impeccable. But on this Amazon Nightmare board game, it's saying that's made by NECA. So this is actually kind of this is kind of blowing my mind. I'm gonna have to look at my board game because I do have this. Like I said, I got it at the garage sale. I'm gonna have to look at the copyright on it and stuff. See if it is NECA because that blows my mind. I didn't know that they did board games. So unless Amazon just fucked up, but yeah. So yeah, that's complete in box, like brand fucking new, and it's like $660. But yeah, right here there's a used one for $55, another used one for $60. So still a good deal. I got the whole thing for 20, so not too bad. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully playing those games with the kids someday. And yeah, I there was one other thing I wanted to talk. I I did want to kind of touch on, and it was just I don't know. I I think I just want to talk a little bit about people, and I know it's gonna sound corny, especially come from me, because I joke around a lot, and I love joking, and just that's comedy's like my main thing. That's what I like to do. I like to just kind of fuck around and talk shit. But on a more serious note, I think I think that people need to believe in their believe in themselves more these days. I feel like it's kind of times are changing, and it's I don't know. I don't. 100% know what I want to say, but I guess I want to tell everybody that listens to this and everybody, just anybody out there that you gotta, it sounds corny, but you gotta believe in yourself. You know, you gotta believe in what you're doing. And I see it like, especially with the modern society. I mean, we're talking about the kids of today, but it comes with my generation and the generation after me. And it's weird that I always felt I always felt that I was destined for more or better things. And I don't know, it's weird. I never imagined myself being like a 9 to 5 guy, right? And working that ordinary job. I had this weird, and again, it's I know it sounds weird, it sounds fucked up, but I always had this kind of feeling that I was destined for more, destined for greatness, or and my big thing was I wanted to help people. That was my biggest thing. And I think part of it stems from, maybe just kind of, I was never a popular kid growing up. And I think, part of that led me down the path of wanting more attention, And it's not that my parents didn't give me any attention, because, they did. I mean, as kids, we didn't get as much attention as kids do by today's standards, but, I certainly wasn't abandoned in the crib or anything. But still, I was never the popular guy in school. I was never, you know, I was never that guy that people called upon, you know, to do things, or, you know, I was never, the popular hero type, we'll say that. But I always wanted to be. I always wanted to be that guy that people looked up to and kind of went to for advice. And I just feel like, I don't know, I always had this weird feeling about me. But what I'm telling you is that you can have these feelings all you want, but at the end of the day, you have to work for it. And I mean that sincerely to everybody listening. If you think you're destined for more, like I do, and you know what? I might not ever make anything, I, I might I might never get more than 50 listeners on this podcast. I might never get more than 8 listeners. That's just reality. The world's unpredictable. But if you don't put in the work, and if you don't love what you do, then it's destined to fail every time. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. I think we live in a crazy world, and it's a crazy time, but I feel like anybody can be anything that they want. But the thing that you got to realize, that you got to put in that work, and you got to put in the time. But more importantly than any of that, you got to love what you're doing. I I've had a couple friends say, you know, well, if there's no subjects on the podcast, why don't you scale it back? Why don't you why don't you do it every other week or once a month or something? And yeah, I'd probably have a lot more to talk about if I did the podcast once a month. But no, this is my goal, and I want to do it weekly because I not only do I like doing the podcast, but I also am honing a skill. I'm honing my skill of talking, and I know I'm still dog shit at it. I still go off on these crazy tangents, probably like I am now. But at the end of the day, I'm getting better and better and better. I'm putting in the hours, and I want to do that every week. You know, even if you just do 1 hour a week, that's like an hour long podcast a week. That's, what is that, 48 hours worth of podcasts in a year? That's quite a bit of time to put in. And, when I have other friends on, I go longer. And I I think the important thing is that Do it because you love it, not because you feel you need to do it. And do something you like, not even just like, love. And this is one of the pitfalls that I came into early on when I was trying to figure out what I was doing in life. And, you know, it's so weird because in my 20s, I tried to do YouTube. I was working like at Future Shop, and, it's a fucking dead end job. And before that, I worked at Walmart. I didn't want to go to college or university. It just it didn't draw me in. And it's so frustrating for me because that's my biggest problem of all times, that I don't know what I want ever, and it changes. And some people recently have told me that this may be a sign of ADHD or like hyperfixation. And it's weird because it's true. It does happen to me that I do get hyperfixated with things, but like I just I don't know. I just never. It was so hard for me to dedicate to one thing. So going to college or university for me was out of the fucking question, because I knew that it was a waste of money. Because I knew that I whatever I chose, I was not going to be into it. Like like it was just as simple as that. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I could have just chose something. I could have just threw a fucking dart at a board and wasted a bunch of money, but I didn't want to do that because student debt is already crippling enough. And the idea of going to college and wasting that degree because it's worthless, because I either don't like that job, or there's no jobs in that field, that would be fucking crippling. And I know a couple people that are in that situation from high school, that they went straight off to college, and they blah 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 blah. They had some good times, which is good, and it's good that they went to college. It's good experience, I think, but their fucking degree is useless, or they don't like their field, or it's either there's no jobs or they don't like their field. But having said that, there are also some people who found jobs they love. But for certain people in this life, like me, that's not an option, because I just didn't know. And to this day, I still don't know. It's crazy. But I just know in my heart that there's certain things that I love. And I love video games. I love comedy. And I love talking. Like, that's really what it comes down to. And I think, I think any skill is marketable, but I think you have to hone it. You know, like people say, you talk a lot, you're good at talking. Well, that's not true, because you could talk a lot and say nothing. But which, a lot of the earlier episodes of the podcast, and even now, as I'm speaking, it's so funny because I'm still early. This is 17, episode 17. I'm only like, if it was 1 hour each, 17 hours. I'm only 17 hours into this thing. And I'm still not great at talking, but I'm getting better all the time. And that's what it comes down to. Getting better at skills that you love. And, it's funny because I feel like I'm rambling incoherently, but I hope you guys kind of get where I'm coming from, just for the fact that um what I'm saying is, do what you love and just keep at it. And don't let other people don't let other people dictate how, like I said, the whole podcast thing, you should do it every 2 weeks. Do it once a month. No. No. I decided once a week, and that's what I'm sticking to, because that's what I want to commit. That's the time I want to commit, because I love it and I like doing it. And I think once a week's a good time frame for me. So if you're playing the guitar all the time, you love to play the guitar, that's what you're doing, and your roommate says, you kind of suck at that Zeppelin song, just say, fuck you. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to work on it more hours a day. Or if they get annoyed by the sound of your guitar, and say, fuck you. Go move on your own. Go practice guitar. Don't let anybody talk you out of your dreams. Don't let anybody talk you out of what you love. Because I'm telling you right now that every skill, even something like talking or gaming, it's all marketable in today's society. But the problem is, don't expect instant gratification. And this was another pitfall of my 20s. Um, Not only from I kind of went on a tangent there about school, but the other thing I was saying was I tried YouTube, right? And YouTube early on, I did it for fun because I liked it. And that's true. I did like it. But after a while, I stopped doing YouTube because I wasn't enjoying it. I just wasn't. And, part of that, of course, is the lack of attention because, and people, this is where it gets a little frustrating because people always say, just put in the work. And I just said it too. I said, just keep at it, keep at it, keep up the work. But the problem is, ultimately, if you're putting hundreds of hours into something and you're not seeing any results, you're gonna give up eventually. You're just not gonna have fun anymore. Like doing it for yourself, and if it's something you love, it's fun. That's great. But when you're not seeing any results, it does discourage you. But the biggest problem with my YouTube thing was it wasn't that I didn't like it. I'm finding this out now. It's not that it's not the fact that because I did like it at the time. And it's like I said, if you like something, you go for it. But what I understand now that I'm older is that I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't at the time. Okay? So I was trying to be somebody like a Markiplier or a PewDiePie or a Jacksepticeye. All these big YouTubers early on. They were huge on YouTube. And I was trying to be them. I mean, it was me. I did my own original content. I did my own editing. I did all that. But ultimately, I took not just influence, but key points from them. I played the games that they were playing, and I'm not saying I didn't like the games, because I liked a lot of the games. I really did. But I was trying too hard to compare myself to these people that were just on a different level. And you can't do that. That's the problem I made, and that's why I you know and there is a little bit of luck involved. I'm not going to lie to you. There is a little bit of luck involved, obviously, with getting noticed on YouTube. But the biggest thing was I wasn't being myself. I was, you know, I was a played up version of myself. I was playing a played up version of myself to try to be like these YouTubers that I was idolizing. Because I said, if they're that big, then I want to be that. So I'm going to be like that. But that's not how it goes. People like originality. People like, if you do your own thing in your own personality, it shines through. So that's going to be my advice for you guys to take away from this too, is if you find something you love and you want to do it, put do what you love and put your own twist on it. Don't try to emulate somebody else's style. Don't even if it's just anything, the games they play, anything like that. As simple as their style, their hair color, anything like that. Just do what you would do normally in your everyday life, except you're playing guitar, except you're making a YouTube video, anything like that. And that's what I'm doing right now. This podcast, you can't expect us to be fucking Joe Rogan right now. I'm not going to have the #1 podcast on Spotify this year. That's just reality. But what I'm doing is I'm being real. I'm being real with you guys, and I'm just sharing my life stories. And, I know I'm going to look back one day and be like, these episodes are dog shit. They're fucking horrible. I was a bullshit talker. But I look at myself as a rookie. I'm a rookie. These are my training years. I got my training wheels on, and I'm pressing forward into the future, and I'm trying to make healthier choices. But I'm doing it all with my own life, my own karma, me, the authentic me, because that's where I went wrong in my past, was trying to emulate other people, trying to be other people. And I lied to myself, guys. I lied to myself for a long time. I said, "Well, I'm not doing that. I'm still me." No, you're not. Deep down, you can't lie to yourself. You can, but you know deep down that's not fucking who you are. So just be the authentic you, and people will appreciate that. And like, I'm not saying this is a sign or anything. And I mean, I know I'm getting a little famous. You guys probably shouldn't be talking to me, but just kidding. But I just wanted to share a little story here, and that's that I as you guys know, I've been really enjoying Elden Ring. It's a fucking awesome game, and I don't know why, but I just, I did this year I've done a couple of YouTube videos. One was just an excerpt of a survival game I played on Twitch, and I just kind of re-uploaded it, my live stream. And then I did a kill compilation on Halo Infinite. This isn't on the Not Rich Just Bored YouTube. This is on Code Manliness, which is that's my personal one I've had since 2007, baby. But I just, I did this kill compilation, and I just kind of did that for fun. And it was fun to edit. And then lately, because of Elden Ring and how much I've been enjoying that game, I just had this weird feeling to make some YouTube videos. I don't know why. I just got inspired to make some, because it's a huge game. It's the game is blowing up. It's massive. Everybody knows that. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like I want to make some YouTube videos. And so I made this one video, and it didn't take me that long. I think it took me like an hour total for everything. And it was just like a way to cheese Moog, the Lord of Blood, which is one of the hardest bosses in the game. And people discovered a way to cheese him. And I'm like, oh my god, I want to make a video on this. And I just did it I did it as like a guide on how to do it. And it's really straightforward, right to the point. But I just did it on my own accord. I didn't copy any format. I didn't copy anything. I did it in my own original way, what I would want. If I was looking up, typing in YouTube, how do I easily beat this boss? Or how do I cheese this boss? What would I want to watch? And I just made that, and compared to what I normally get for views, it's killing it right now. It's got like almost 5,000 views as of today. And I'm recording this early because I'll be out for work, but I'm recording this on Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday. So should be up Thursday, but I'm recording this Tuesday. And yeah, so as of Tuesday, it's 3 days old, and it has like 5,000 views. And I just thought it was pretty incredible. But, you know, maybe it's the world saying that, that originality pays off. Doing stuff your own way pays off. You know, you don't need to copy other people. You don't need to copy a format. You just need to be yourself. And I think that's the ultimate takeaway that I want to tell you guys for this episode is just don't let people kill your dreams, and don't get discouraged when you don't get something on a silver platter, cuz ultimately you got to put in the work. You just do. And I cannot stress that enough. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the hours. But in this world of TikTok and all this short form content, it's a world of instant satisfaction, instant gratification. But you got to really sometimes you got to struggle through the trenches and just find something you love and do it your own way. And don't let anybody else tell you different. And just keep at it. And things will happen for you. But also, the other thing I will say, though, is that you got to be realistic. You got to be... It could be your dream, that's fine. But you got to be realistic, Like, for example, there's, the idea of being like, say I wanted to be the top YouTuber in the world. Well, that's a pretty big aspiration, especially with how flooded the market is. So if you want that to be your goal, you would have to work really fucking hard. But you should always have a backup plan too, because you don't want to ruin your life. But still take that shot, Like I said, right now, you know what? I still work a 9 to 5. I work a pretty decent job. I love the people I work with. And, that's a bonus. That's good. But ultimately, we all want to work for ourselves, and doing our own thing is, that's the dream, right? That's the dream. And you know what? That dream will never become a reality if you sit there and fucking cry. If you just sit there and cry to yourself and say, why isn't this happening for me? Why aren't things happening for me? It's like the guy that, wants to lose weight, but he won't fucking work out at all. He won't go outside. I ate this diet pill. Why am I not skinny yet? This guy's got to work. Got to put in the work. I work a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. But you know what? Usually Wednesday. Today it's Tuesday. Cause of work. Cause I'll be out of town for work. And but I know that every Wednesday, I gotta put in that work. I gotta do my podcast. I have chosen to commit to this podcast, and that's my. I could just say no. I don't feel like it. I'm depressed today, And you have those days. You're going to have those days where you're like depressed, or there's not much to talk about, or, I'm just not feeling it, But you got to push through. It's not only commitment and work, it's, the hell am I trying to say? Fuck. Lost my words here. See? This is I'm in training. I told you. Still training. Not continuity. What the fuck is the word? Consistency. That's what it is. Consistency. That's one of the major parts. It's that consistency. Once a week, every week. And that goes to everything, It helps with working out too. I say to myself, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm also going to lift some fucking kettlebells. I'm going to do some swings. I'm going to hit my heavy bag. I've recently just been, I've kind of been in this transformative part of my life where, and don't get me wrong, I'm still a fat fuck. I still am, but I'm working on it, and that's the thing. Because this last couple of years, I've been transforming myself. I've been because I kind of had this another epiphany in my life of like I'm not working hard enough. I'm not. I need to work harder for my dreams and my goals, you know? And part of my one of my biggest detractors is I'm a lazy fuck a lot. But you know why? It's cuz I'm fat. Like that's just reality. I'm just like the reason I don't have energy most days is cuz I'm a fat fuck and I'm burnt out. And people, in this modern society, you know, people will be like, "Don't say that. Don't say it's so mean. Don't be so hard on yourself. Come on, have an Oreo cookie. It's double stuffed." No, fuck you. All right? I don't want your fucking Oreo. I'm fat. That's just something you gotta accept. And I just, that's me being accountable to myself. It's saying, like, you know what? I got kids. They're beautiful fucking kids. And I want to see them grow up. And I want to see them pursue their dreams. But they're not going to do that if they don't see their dad working hard. They're not going to do that. They're not going to have that motivation to pursue their dreams if I can't even do it. The people they look up to are their parents. And if all they see is the parents fucking sitting on a fucking couch all day, watching a crime drama, eating Cheetos, that's all they see all day, that's all they're gonna want. But if they see somebody doing what they love, getting at it, getting active, getting shit done, then they're gonna emulate that. They're gonna see that. They're gonna be like, I want to be like that, you know? And I think that's powerful. Uh, we live in a weird society these days where, uh, like, weakness is encouraged. It's actually rewarded in some cases. There's all this stuff like, you know, like I'm trying to think of, like, what do they call it again? It's like they'll say shit like healthy at any size, and it's, don't be fat phobic and all this stuff. But it's like, no, that's the wrong mindset. All right. When you die at 35 years old from a heart attack, yeah, you're real beautiful in your coffin, you fat fuck. Like, no, that's not true. I and I can't stress it enough. I hate that aspect of our culture. And for the most part, it's mostly North America from what I've noticed anyway. Like North America seems to be the ones that are going in this woke direction of like accepting people who they are no matter what. But it's like I'm sitting here. I know you guys can't see me. It's a podcast. You're listening to me. But take my word for it. I'm not a small dude. I mean, I'm not the size of the moon, but relatively speaking, I'm like Pluto. Something like that. But either way, I'm not a small guy. I'm not healthy. I'm not. But I'm working on it. But if anybody ever told me that it's okay and what I look like and what I'm doing is healthy, I throw a fucking margarita in their head. And then because I'm a fat fuck, I'd probably try to lick it off them. I'd be like, can't waste that sugar. But no, for real though, we live in a society that encourages weakness. And yeah, in a lot of cases, rewards it. And that is not right. And I'm here to tell you, just as a bigger dude, that when I work on it, I feel great. I really do. And I think it's important for everybody to do that. And it does help with your energy levels. working out, getting active, it does, you know, especially during the pandemic when everybody's inside. Yeah, no wonder you're fucking depressed. You're sitting there watching the same movie for the 14th time, you know? Got Cheeto crumbs on your dick from masturbating all day. Get out and do something. And I know it was hard for that year because we were kind of locked inside, but we're not anymore. So we can go fucking wild. So, what I'm trying to say is don't ever don't ever let people think that health is optional, because it's not. Especially if you have kids and you want to see them grow up. Because, obesity is I it's a huge problem. And I have personally struggled with weight my whole life, but I'm not going to be one of those guys that, like I said before, it's the work ethic. I'm not going to sit here and go like, yeah, it's my genes' fault. Just sucks having bad genes. But I'm beautiful anyway. Which I am. I'm fucking gorgeous. But, no. You can't just blame your genes. You gotta put in the work. Doesn't matter. You just gotta do it. Like, yeah, my brother, and he's my twin brother, believe it or not, he's got way better fucking metabolism than me. The cocksucker can eat a double Big Mac and fucking shit it out in a minute and he hasn't gained an ounce. If I ate a double Big Mac, I fucking pretty sure it sits in my left intestine for 6 years. And then I get like a fatty corpuscle on the side. It's like it just means you gotta work harder. It's like anything in life. There's gonna be people with natural talent. In this case, natural metabolism or natural ability. There's some people that could be inactive their whole life, not do anything, sit on a computer all day, and they're twigs. But then there's people like me that inflate to the size of a fucking balloon. And it just means you've got to work harder. Or not even work harder, just work it all. Because let's face it, a lot of us don't do anything. And I'm guilty of that too, especially during the winter. But I'll tell you guys, like, that's one. If you are an obese person listening to this, I'll tell you that the energy levels from when you're fat doing nothing, eating chocolate all day, to when you're working out, eating healthy, and actually getting active, it's night and day. Because through COVID, I let myself go down quite a bit more. But pre-pandemic, I had lost 60 pounds, I think, at one point. And I was still big. Don't get me wrong, I was still pretty big. But, I was a lot less big. And more importantly than that, I was happy. Like, I was like vibrant and energetic because I was always used to working out every day. I was always used to going for that run or that walk every night. I got so used to that it just became part of who I was and what I did. Like every night I go for that run and I got addicted. I got excited every night. I'm like, oh shit. And yeah, there's some nights where I didn't want to do it. There's some nights where it hurt, but like, god damn, do you feel good after you're done? And then it's like, and I could tell you, without oversharing, it definitely helps in the bedroom too. I'm going to tell you guys that too. Like, like during COVID, I had the sexual appetite of a fucking slug. Like, I literally I look like one of those fainting goats where it's like two pumps and like, you fall over dead. And it's like after I literally, fucking, I would sound like Goku after fucking fighting Frieza. It's like, you're pretty tough. No, but seriously. But that's like, when I was running every day, fuck. That's when watch out. because you're getting a good dicking. For real though, like my libido was crazy, and then I was just like, you know, we'll just put it this way: it lasted longer. It was comparable to a game of Monopoly as opposed to a game of Hungry Hungry Hippos. Because Hungry Hungry Hippos is like really quick. It's yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I feel like I've overshared now. Now it's awkward. But you're still here, so that's fine. But what I'm saying is get active. I'm excited to get active. I've been going through this whole thing where I'm trying to maximize my potential. Like I said before, I'm enjoying doing some YouTube, doing my own thing, doing some Elden Ring videos. I love doing the podcast. And then on the side, I'm also trying to get healthier, trying to learn new skills. Um, and I'm also another thing I'm doing. Um, I'm trying. I'm trying to be less materialistic because I feel like a lot of the material things that I have collected over in my 20s and stuff, it's kind of weighing me down in a sense. And I feel like I'm just ready to move on, you know. Like I'm 32. So, well, sorry, I'll be 32 this year in August. But I just feel like I'm ready to move on to the next stage of my life. I I want to kind of get rid of a lot of this old materialistic shit. And there's a few collectibles that I want to keep because they're precious to me and they're very sentimental. Like I'm not getting rid of my Tom Kenny. I have a fucking art Hot Wheels car. It's a SpongeBob Hot Wheels car, and it's signed by Tom Kenny, the voice actor of SpongeBob. My fucking son almost tried to open it the other day. I fucking almost threw a hammer at him. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, he's like, I want to open that. I'm like, the fuck you do? I'm like, I'll give it to you when you're older, when you can appreciate it, because he loves SpongeBob too, but he doesn't know who Tom Kenny is. So, but yeah, I got signed by Tom Kenny at Calgary Expo. It's pretty sweet. Anyways, what I'm saying is, I'm trying to get rid of a lot of the material things in my life, and I've downsized quite a bit. I've sold off like a lot of old game consoles and stuff like that. And yeah, pretty much just have like my minted box action figures I'm keeping, some certain collectible games, and then yeah, other than that, like a lot of it's gone. I purged it all, I sold it all, and I'm just like I'm trying to downsize because I feel like a lot of that stuff does weigh you down, you know? And with all the room I saved, I was able to convert my one room into a workout room, and I kind of took the funds from all the stuff I sold and I funneled it into this room where I put yoga mats and kettlebells and a heavy bag, and I enjoy. Um, I'm really excited to go back running, but I love running outside. We have some beautiful parks here in this area, and I like to go running outside, and that's what I'm really excited to do this summer and spring. It's warming up now, thank God, but like even during the winter though, this it's nice to go into this room. It's nice to have a place where and it's peaceful, and I could just listen to my music or whatever, listen to a YouTube video, and just lift some weights, punch a bag, get some anger out, and just feels great. It really does. And it's rather than it being a room full of these things that nobody could touch because they're all valuable and I don't want them scratched or wrecked. Now it's a room where I can just get some frustration out, get some exercise, and I think that's important, and I think everybody should have, if you have the space, right? Not everybody has the space, but I had to make the space. I don't have much space either. I live in a fucking trailer, So, it's a 3-bedroom trailer. So I literally had to clear out the one room, and there's still fucking storage boxes in that room. But, half of it's a gym. So, but it's good. That's all you need. You don't need a lot of room, you know? Just need some weights, something to punch. You don't even need something to punch. You could just put a treadmill for cardio or something, but I really enjoy punching. And I watch I watch a lot of boxing videos, and I try to like shadow box and like um emulate the boxer's actions, cuz I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to be in a boxing match, but it's it's all about learning. I like learning new skills. And I think that's yeah, I think it's important to just always be learning and growing. Always be changing yourself. And yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say for this episode of the podcast. I'm sorry if I got ranty in this kind of latter half of it. It's just I just kind of wanted to express to you guys some of my feelings on, the direction in life. And I think I just think a lot of you, like a lot of people in general, they need to understand that it's okay to live your life. You don't have to go to college right out of school, and I'll be honest, this, it's I could talk about it now, it's fine, because it doesn't bother me. But I'll tell you, when I was 18 to like 23 years old, it bugged the shit out of me that I didn't go to college or university, or what, post secondary. It bugged the shit out of me. You know why? Because I felt like a loser. Because that's what the expectation was at that time. The expectation was you go to school, you go to high school, then you go to college, you get a job, you get married, you die. That was the expectation. Okay, that's a little depressing, but that's the that's the box to put you in. Whatever, you know. But as I'm learning later in life, and I came to accept, was that it was what I said earlier. I wasn't ready for college or university or anything. I didn't know what I wanted to do. It would have been a waste of time and money. So, but at the time, I just saw all my friends and everybody that I was, everybody I grew up with was going off to college. And, you know, as far as I knew, they were all being successful, because that's what college meant. College equals success. But as I'm learning later in life, that's not the case. College doesn't mean success. College means you went to college, ultimately, you know, and you can either, you know, if you pass your whatever you're doing, yeah, you can be successful. That's 100% true. But it's not guaranteed. People can say, yeah, I went to college. Oh, you must be smart. No, I actually flunked out on the first term. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? It's like, don't feel like you need to force yourself to school unless you know what you want to do. And then, in which case, if you need schooling for it, go for it. But don't ever feel bad that you didn't. Everybody goes at their own pace. And it goes back to what I said. You are yourself. You're not me. You're not your buddy Ryan. You're not anybody else. You are yourself. And you got to look at yourself and think, this is my time. I need to use it wisely. And I need to use it for me. And if that means I'm not going to college right now, fine. If somebody calls you a loser, fuck them. You don't need them in your life. Even if it's your parents, say, you know what? Don't pressure me. I'll go when I'm ready, or maybe I won't go. I'll be successful in a different way. But, I just think about all the nights. There's a lot of nights where I sat up, just, I'd be laying in my bed and I'd just be looking up at the ceiling, and I just, you know, as bad as it sounds, sometimes, I'd be crying and shit. And it's because I just felt like a fucking loser. And you know, I would really like to go back in time and just, you know, do the weird anime shit and put my hand, a ghostly hand on my shoulder, and just be like, "Don't worry, son. It's okay." You know, because it's true. I was way too hard on myself at the time, and I needed to understand that that is not the way life goes, and everybody goes at different, you know, everybody goes at different speeds. Who knows? Maybe I'll go to school sometime. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll find like randomly I want to do this or whatever. It doesn't matter. Oh, but you're 30. Well, who cares? That's another thing that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you start. It matters that you do it when you're ready. Because if you do it just to do it and you're not ready or you don't know what you want, then you're just wasting your fucking time. So, yeah, it's just, you know, we all go at our own pace. I've, even when it comes to regular jobs, man, I've been there. I started off at like I said, graduate high school, my first job after high school. Well, I worked at a video store for a little while, but that was mostly in school, and then for a little while after school. But my first like full-time job was Walmart. I worked at a fucking Walmart for like 2 years. And I just mostly I fucked around because I was young and immature. But, you know, those were the years where I was hardest on myself, but I was still evolving. I was still moving forward. And I need to tell myself that, things will get better. And I don't need to hold myself to the standards of all my peers. You know what? They went to college, they're successful, good for them. They went to college, they dropped out, also good for them. It's a learning experience for them. Just don't compare yourself to others. You are you, they are they. And for, I don't know how many, young people, like young people we have listening to this podcast, but my advice to you guys definitely is to go for your dreams. You guys have the most opportunity of anybody, you know? There's so many tools when it comes to like branding yourself. You could do anything you want, you know? Between social media, like YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Twitch, all that shit, you could do whatever you want. Anything ever. Like you could literally if you want to be a carpenter, if carpentry's your thing or something, you could literally start a carpentry YouTube channel. And you could be a carpenter in your 9 to 5 life, and then on the side on YouTube, you could be a carpenter on there and make content as a carpenter. And that'll be either a secondary income or maybe you'll get enough people that'll be your major income. But I don't know. I think you guys get the point. My point is that especially today, they have all the tools in front of them, but you have to use them. And you can't be a clone. You have to be exactly who you want to be. And do what you're passionate about. Don't do what's popular. Don't don't do something that just because somebody else said or just because it's the in thing. Do something that you genuinely love. And in time you will get rewarded for it. I think that's, as far as that's as far as I'm gonna go on this podcast. I feel like I'm bumming people out a little bit, but I don't know. I'm just trying. I think I'm just trying to be real with you guys right now, and just because yeah, I'm having all these realizations, and I'm forgiving myself for being so hard on myself, and yeah, I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now, and I don't know, man. The sky's the limit, you know. So hopefully I could slim down this summer and be jacked for next winter, and then hopefully I don't put my grizzly bear weight back on, and we'll go from there. So I'll see you guys next week. Ryan will be back on, and yeah, hopefully this will be up on Thursday. It might be a little late because I will be driving back that day, and then I'll be uploading when I get back then. But yeah, thanks guys for listening, and oh, and don't forget to follow the podcast on all social media. Links in the description below. We'll see you next week. Peace.